Right, so I gotta be honest, this is probably one of the hardest conclusions I've had to come to in all my time doing versus battles. This is an even matchup. Two similar characters, although not really similar in mindset, but both of them high powered. I'm talking about classic Doctor Strange, specifically the crazy stuff he was doing in Strange Tales, versus John Constantine and going over some of his best feats. So with these two characters, if they were to clash, who do I think will win? You're about to find out. But before we go over it, please, if you have not subscribed, consider subscribing to my channel. I do a lot of content similar to this, and if you like this stuff, you'll definitely like what I'm doing. I also did a collab recently on Chuck's channel, the Hulk vs. Broly debunk. Make sure to go check it out and subscribe to him if you haven't already. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Doctor Strange is a former doctor who, post-accident, had to seek a way to fix his damaged hands when medicine simply failed him in every way. Now, as a result of this journey to find a fix to his hands, Strange had to take on the role of a magic user, specifically becoming the protege to Ancient One. Now, when he was learning under Ancient One, of course, the goal was for him to grow in power and intelligence in order to become the Sorcerer Supreme, who basically keeps balance for the magic in the verse. Now, early on, the power of Doctor Strange was even acknowledged by the conceptual entity Nightmare. Strange is a constant utilizer of the Book of Ashanti, which contains all known counters to mystic arts. To clear this up before there's anyone confused in the comments, I'm not saying because the Vishanti know every counter to mystic arts, he counters everything Constantine has. It's two different verses, so it'd be a no limits fallacy. It's not what I'm saying. However, Doctor Strange's arsenal is vast and nearly infinite. Strange can utilize a spell called the Path of Hogarth, which he uses whenever he's in an environment that is either trying to kill him or just isn't suitable for him. This includes abstract realms like the realm of Nightmare. Even Nightmare in his own realm could not harm Strange while on this path. So like I said, if he's dealing with, like, let's say BFR, the path is perfect to keep him safe. His amulet early on demonstrated that it can quite literally see through evil itself. This allows Strange to instantly know when he's dealing with evil or demonic powers. Strange possesses a ring, and at this time, this ring was able to neg dark magic even from power sources like Dormammu, a being who is on par with the entity known as Eternity. Strange can neg this power and can even reverse it upon the user if he has to. In terms of fear, Strange was considered to have absolutely zero in Strange Tales. This version of Strange was declared by empathic aliens to be completely detached from fear. Fear manipulation will be useless. Strange consistently showed that he can instantly hop dimensions. He says the reason for such ease for him to violate the rules of reality is because his power is that of abstract imagination, which of course makes sense with how it's scaling so far. Strange can also seal off dimensions and has done so in character. This was shown to be in character in Strange Tales at least 3 or 4 times, multiple times with Mordo alone. If he BFRs and you come back, what would most likely happen is he'd send you either further and potentially seal you away completely, or at least seal you off from returning to his verse. If Strange is forced to battle outside of his physical body, he does not need to worry about his body being destroyed or compromised in any way. His body is passively protected by the Vishanti, which scales to his strongest magic. Mordo had zero chance of even scratching him when Strange was out of his body. At this point in his stories, Strange, just the projection of him, was able to nearly beat Mordo in a straight up fight. His power growth is already showing its insane rate. There's at least 2 major power jumps in the Strange Tales series that puts him on par with some of the heavy hitters. Now, Strange early on was able to cast magic that bypasses Asgardian magic. Rune magic in Asgard and other magic in general from Asgard, is capable of harming outerversal beings like the Celestials. His spell binds Thor's hammer to the earth and therefore bypasses that magic, which is very impressive. Strange showed he could easily perform power draining on an outerversal scale. Strange battled a mystic powered by the Netherrealm. This realm was stated by Thor to be above Limbo. Strange one-shotted him and then drained him of his power completely. His amulet is always available to him, obviously, because he's wearing it, and it is a very dangerous attack if he uses it. This attack is stated to hit you on all levels. This includes astral, mental, and physical simultaneously. Manipulating him on a dimensional level won't work. Strange has tanked beings thrust beyond dimensions and even sets of infinity, and even got turned 2D and tanked it. So dimensional manipulation with Doctor Strange simply is ineffective. It took an outerversal journey just to reach the dark dimension for Strange. We know this because he had to journey beyond the metaphysical. He fights Dormammu and wins, and gets a stronger amulet from Ancient One for his W. This is next level for Strange. When confronted about justifying his magic, Doctor Strange actually can't. The reason he can't isn't because he doesn't believe in it, but it's because his magic is beyond comprehension and thus is beyond logic. You can't argue about it because you use logic to argue, and it's beyond that. So it's just a confirmation of how high into the verse magic goes. Strange goes on to square up with Toboro, who is compared to Mephisto and Nightmare in other comics. Strange physically beats him up like a bully and destroys him on his own turf. Doctor Strange had a habit in Strange Tales of pulling up to your universe and beating you up. It was mad disrespectful, even though he's made out to be the hero. Now, just for clarification, Strange has speed beyond dimensionality. This is shown many times, with examples including his combat and travel speed being called beyond human comprehension and incalculable. At the edge of cosmic infinity, which is beyond the outerversal dark dimension, Strange countered high outerversal absorption and was fine. Doctor Strange is slept on as a hand-to-hand fighter. I briefly touched on it earlier. For the sake of all known dimensions, he brawled with Dormammu in front of everybody. He was Dormammu's power equal, and then he used Judo to fold Dormammu. Strange has high outerversal resistance to existence erasure. This was blatantly shown when Strange was shown traversing through the realm of non-existence. He was able to survive it and come out. Strange absorbed Ancient One and surpassed his prior showings. This makes sense as he beat Zom, who could 1v1 Dormammu or Eternity no problem and likely win. Strange had enough power at this point that if he wasn't, if he didn't have good character, his psychic power and his psyche could tip the cosmic balance of the collective psyche. Strange ended up combating beings multiple layers in outerversal in this run. This include places like a realm beyond even spirituality, which means beyond gods. He's also dealt with threats that view creation as an illusion, since it's too insignificant to notice or believe it is even real. Before being retconned, it is safe to say that classic Strange was a wild boy. And about John Constantine and all his power, as well as his character in general, is you gotta understand that he quite literally has the best luck you'll probably ever read in fiction. This is because he has inherited the connection to the synchronicity wave. This is essentially luck on every level, and his luck is with him through all of his feats. So while I'm reviewing his feats, keep in mind that his luck is constantly helping him in all of these feats. Think of it as passive creation of new luck, to the point that even unrelated things end up relating because of it. Mr. E, one of the strongest magic users in the verse, explained that Constantine is twice as good as Sargon no matter what she does. Sargon is another magic user that was able to use magic that was threatening creation itself. It is very hard to keep Constantine pinned down or sealed. In fact, Constantine has high outerversal showings of countering traps and mystic sealing. He escaped what was considered to be one of the strongest magic traps in existence and said it was basically a joke to him. Constantine also has insane power absorption and containment hacks. He once had to use the raw magic power of Shazam while containing it simultaneously. So basically, he had the power, but the power wasn't agreeing with him. Think of it, if you're a Naruto fan, as Kurama disagreeing with Naruto. It's really hard to draw the power from it. He was struggling with that, containing it and using it, and was able to do so. Now, the reason this is impressive is because Shazam's raw power is enough to kill archetypal gods in DC. If things get physical, John is a very capable brawler. However, even if he loses, John can set a roundabout spell that inflicts all the damage back upon the attacker. In DC, astral combat is reliant upon one's own willpower. Constantine has god tier, literally, willpower and casually folds enraged spirits in his run. Now, it's very important that this hack is tied to his willpower because Constantine can stand up to literally high outerversal threats with his willpower. So it's very useful for him in terms of hacks and negging hacks. In terms of complex tricks, Constantine has the ability to engage in spatial manipulation. Basically, magic governs all of reality. It can break reality. It usurps reality. So he can bend the rules and make a joke of it. And one of the things he does in combat is manipulate space so that it just confuses you. It's basically a misdirection. Very useful and works on a lot of people. John Constantine has some overpowered weaponry in his hands, similar to how Doctor Strange has the amulet and the cape. One of these items includes the Moonblade. The Moonblade is capable of sealing away concepts, dreams, and gods. John can also use this stored power in battle. Anyone who has read Constantine knows he casually scales above and bullies Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing, for those that don't know, has the power of the green. The power of the green is essentially all green, but not just on the planet, not just in the universe or the multiverse, but throughout all creation. That's how strong Swamp Thing is, and Constantine consistently dogs him. It's horrible. It's actually, I don't know why people don't talk about Swamp Thing jobbing, but he low-key jobs. Oftentimes, John's mistaken by fans to be just some, pickpocket who uses outerversal magic to do crazy thief stuff and hood rat stuff, but he's not really a fighter. That's actually not the truth at all. It's true to some extent, like he is a great escape artist and thief and all that, but it's not all that he is. Denying John's raw power is just blatantly disrespectful. John was able to get through a device that held both the Phantom Stranger and Zuriel. Phantom Stranger literally draws his power from the presence. Blight, a being made of evil human psyche from the collective unconscious, considered John his greatest threat. This is at least puts his raw power around Phantom Stranger's Spectre level. And their raw power is insane. It's high outerversal, so I know they job, but go watch my Phantom Stranger and Spectre videos for those that don't know how they scale. They actually scale very high. He scales to them, he should at least, in raw power, but his tricks and stuff far surpass them. To solidify how strong he is, his strength was called unprecedented in the face of magical feats that healed cracks in creation. Constantine sacrifices for these levels of magic, which many users would never do. However, Constantine is definitely about it and will definitely do it. Even outerversal power sources do not scale to the schemes and plans of Constantine. Darkseid was consuming realms of formless thoughts passively and heavens attached to universes. Constantine on the spot leveled himself up as a magic user to the 4th degree and negged him. Naboo, who scales to old god level beings, got mind hacks and tricked by a weaker version of this John. His tricks, schemes, and finishing power all scale relative to each other. Like Strange, Constantine is destined to handle problems that usurp the capabilities of normal heroes. He calls them capes all the time. These are creation-level magic threats. John's luck, knowledge, and raw power makes him one of the scariest combatants in his own verse. Gods hesitate before getting on the chessboard with John. He's truly the GOAT of swindlers, and he even has tricks that bypass divine senses on every level, and he did so to save his universe. So I was asked to write out how I think the battle would play out specifically. So I'm going to go over that, and then I'm going to review why I think the battle went a certain way. I hope you guys enjoy. John and Strange face off. John, of course being how he is, makes a joke, and Strange takes this opportunity to bind him with the crimson bands of Sidorak. Strange presses forward and then frowns. John was gone. Strange turns to see John off to the side, smoking a cigarette. Simple trick, John remarks. Strange suddenly feels himself lurching. He looks down to see a weird rune had activated under his feet. Constantine had slipped something under him and he hadn't noticed. This Constantine guy is a problem, Strange thinks. He lashes out with a mystic whip and ensnares the surprised John as John is suddenly brought within range to Strange. Strange and John suddenly swap hands as they lurch forward and hurtle through dimensions, all due to John's spell. Strange begins beating John's ass because his judo is A1 and OP. A battered, bloodied, and bruised Constantine blasts away Strange just to create a little bit of separation, and John snags onto a roof of a house that suddenly appeared. He enters the house of mystery, smiling. To his dismay, Strange had blitzed forward and entered the house. A room appears, and Strange finds himself inside of it. He realizes this is a reality warping house, and he is on enemy turf. Handle him, Swampy. I'll owe you one if you win. John leaves the room, leaving Swamp Thing there to face Doctor Strange. Moments later, John is shocked to hear Strange busting out of the door. Bullocks. Big Green jobbed again. The two will engage, and Strange is facing the house as he's battling both the house and John. Strange summons the path, and he flees the enchanted house, his amulet lighting the way. As Strange flies out, he looks around horrified. Their dimension hopping and the spell John had used split the world and was killing millions of people. Strange, in an effort to save those people, races down and suddenly stops. He looks down to see a blade had pierced his chest. It's the moon blade, Constantine explained. Strange coughed as he realized it had been an illusion this whole time. Constantine indeed was an insane illusion trick person. He is the GOAT of swindling. Constantine seals Strange within the Moonblade and puts him away with the rest of his magic tricks, now suddenly having one of the strongest sources of magic in DC as he goes back to his verse. In the end, I believe John Constantine wins 6 out of 10, high difficulty against classic Doctor Strange. One of the big factors in this was, for me, the luck, the synchronicity wave. It's in philosophy, it scales really high. And like I said, it scales to the magic and the feats he pulled off, which is creation level. So he's easily going to have luck that will help him counter Doctor Strange and put him in the right place at the right time. And he has devices such as the Moonblade that can seal Strange because it's so powerful. And yeah, I believe that's what really gives him the edge here, as well as he's a dirty fighter and more than likely with his tendencies to summon stuff and cheat and use things to win. And because of that, I believe Constantine, like I said, wins 6 out of 10. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It took me a long time to research and make this one, but I enjoyed it. One of the hardest battles I've done. Anyways, it's been your favorite villain, and I will see y'all later. Peace.